In the hopes that we can add some efficiencies to your assessments and to your grading, we've created this video on how to use the quizzes built into Haiku. So to create quizzes, you go to the Assess tab and then click Assessments. From here, you're going to add an assessment. There are two categories of assessments for KIA. One is called the exam, and that's what we would call a real quiz. The information here say that the kids don't get immediate feedback. Well, they don't get immediate feedback per question. They get it based on the quiz as a whole. The practice type of assessment, the kids do get to see what they've done right or wrong in each question as they do it, and they can take it as many times as they want. In an exam, you get to set the time limit, and you get to set how many times they can do the assessment. So I'm going to go with an exam. I'm going to click on Next. They have to have a title. It's a short quiz. Instructions. There are my instructions. Do not create a gradebook entry because we simply don't use the gradebook. You can create the total number of points. I'm going to say 5 because this is a short quiz. Organize is where you can categorize your questions for future use. So yes, creating a Haiku quiz does require some upfront effort, and that is to take your questions that you may have in another format and bring them in. Carson and I may be able to actually help you import your questions if they've come from a textbook company, but otherwise it is a matter of manually typing them. But if you organize them, you can search them easily later. So grade, subject, tags. Time. I usually let the guys have an unlimited amount of time. That helps the guys who are on education plans. That means the judgment is up to you. It's not preset. I also typically allow my guys only to take the quiz once. This next part is where a little bit of thought is required. The word randomize, they should actually put in randomized order. Do you want to randomize the order of the questions? I like to. What that means is if the guys are in close proximity, the odds of them looking at the same question on the screen beside them is limited because they've been put in different orders for each kid. The second part, randomized answers, that's a tougher one, and I usually don't do it. And the reason is that sometimes I like to give the all of the above option. And if in the randomizing order of the answers, the all of the above option appears first, well, there's nothing above it, and so it no longer makes any sense. Similarly, if you give them the option of choose A and C, if you've randomized the order, you're actually not entirely sure what A and C are for that question. So this is one to randomize the order of the answers. That one you've got to think about. I typically do use the randomized questions. Require safe exam browser. You really only can do that if you're in a school lab. But in the name of safety, what I usually do is get the guys to sit in such a way that I can see all their screens. Restricted mode, I like restricted mode because I put a password on the quizzes. There is a web-friendly mode as well, so if you would actually like them to be writing an essay and go out on the internet and find information, you definitely want to use the web-friendly. So I can add questions, good thing, otherwise it's a pretty boring quiz. And these are the type of questions. Now, the bottom 4, fill in the blank, matching multiple choice, and true, false, Haiku will mark for you, and it will mark it immediately. The kids will then get the results of the quiz right as soon as they click that they're finished. If you have a short answer or an essay question, they will not know any of their marks until you're done answering the essay. And you can provide written feedback, you can provide comments, you can give part marks. It's very, very flexible. So just for the sake of it, let's start with a fill in the blank, just so I can show you what the interface looks like. And the interface is very flexible. You can do all sorts of formatting here. Managing the assessment, in order for guys to actually take the quiz, you have to publish it. So I'm going to click Publish. You can choose the sections, if you have sections. I'm going to restrict the access for password, total points, and I can choose a page that's going to go on. All these things you can change later, of course. I'm going to click Finish, and you're saying, hey, you required a password, and here's where I get to put it in. I click Add. If you want to make sure you have no typos, you can click Show Password. Notice how it converts everything to uppercase. That means that when the kids type it in, they don't have to get the right case either. You can limit the dates, or you can say anytime. Click Save. You may want to add a password for reviewing, which allows the guys to independently go in and check to see what they got right or wrong, and that can help with their learning, obviously. That is done, and my quiz is ready to go. There's a little bit of a preview. Under Manage Assessment, you can change anything. You can go back and change the settings. You can manage your passwords if you need to change them. You can see the student results. Preview allows you to go through the quiz as a student, so you may want to do that. You can make it back to a draft if you'd like to change the questions that are on it. Closing means you don't let students take the quiz anymore. So it's published. I'm good. I'm just going to click away from it. And there it is. It's ready to go. So I can edit anything via the pencils. Again, this is really just a quick intro to the quizzes. Hopefully it is something you find useful. Again, as always, if you have any questions about Crescent technology, please don't hesitate to contact Carson and I. And most importantly, have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.